Bossy TV, the pest control industry's original pest control television network, is made possible by the support from Neogen, providers of the SureKill line of products that offer trusted and proven formulations to treat problem pests effectively. Nisus, makers of professional-grade borat-based pesticides that provide a highly effective, targeted kill while creating the least possible impact on people, pets, and the environment. Syngenta, providing innovative solutions to help pest management professionals solve any pest challenge. And in partnership with Pest Management Professional Magazine, offering news, advice, insights, and information for businesses and individuals who work in the pest control industry.
All right, Pest Posse's back in the house with none other than Tim Houston. Yes, that's right, the glutton for punishment. He's one of the only people in the world who can stand us so much.
It's hard work, Gully. It's hard work.
Yeah, hard work putting up here. I get it.
No. Thank you for having me back on.
Absolutely. And we're going to be talking about the process of what it takes to bring a product to market. And Tim, we thought would be a great person for that. He works in the field, helping people out, IDing stuff. And he's also helped out, I think, a lot with the actual process of getting these products to market. So Tim, give everybody a brief, you've been on the show several times, but just in case somebody hasn't seen, tell people who you are, where you work, why should we listen to you?
Okay. I'm not just humorous. I'm trying to think of why my wife likes me. I can't do that either. No. I'm Dr. Tim Houston. I'm the Technical Services Manager for Syngenta Professional Solutions. I help support tech services, sales, marketing, communication efforts for Syngenta's professional pest management portfolio. I cover the Midwest and Northeast U.S., including sort of the Mid-Atlantic, basically Maine to Virginia, North Dakota to Kansas, and everything over. That's my turf and my territory that I help folks out with. Prior to being with Syngenta, I had a similar role with BASF where I covered the Southeast U.S. And then I was in actual operational pest control, technical training, quality assurance, safety director for pest control companies based out of Atlanta, Georgia, and Waltham, Massachusetts. So kind of been on both sides of the table. Hopefully can bring some perspective to what it takes to actually get a product to market for folks and your listeners.
Yeah, I think this is a great topic because I think when we first get in, we just don't have any concept of what this process is about. We think it's like bringing any other product to market, right? You come up with an idea, you kind of do a sample, create a sample, start having people test it out, and let's go. But there's a lot more involved. Yeah. So walk us through this developing a new pest control product from the initial concept to the market release.
Okay.
I know that could take like an hour right there.
No, this could be a whole PowerPoint presentation, and I'm really going to just try to simplify this process down to about 4 to 6 steps. So what you're describing when you say we have something, we have a proof of concept, that's actually like step 3 out of 4 on the initial basic chemical manufacture. So let's start there. There's a few of us left, Syngenta being one of those, a basic chemical manufacturer. So we start with a discovery process based, I believe a lot of this discovery process is out of our home labs there in Basel or our home labs in the United Kingdom. We have a couple labs over there across the ocean where they screen a lot of compounds, and it's all discovery is what they call that. So to get to our endpoint of one endpoint professional pest management product, let's say we start by screening 100,000 different chemical compounds. They just look for how it might bind at a certain site on a certain protein or something as minutia as that, right? It's not like we're screening against bugs, 100,000 compounds and seeing what happens. No, they're looking for candidate compounds that might have potential. Of that 100,000, they might take 5,000 things and they profile them further and look down to a very minute detail at how these things might interact with like, let's just use a protein or a neuroprotein or a nerve junction or something like that in an insect. That's how a lot of our insecticides work, right? They're neuroinhibitors. So we started with 100,000, we're down to 30 compounds now. That's where we get to evaluate. That's the proof of concept. That's, we're evaluating these 30 compounds, and we're not just looking at these 30 compounds for professional pests. We're looking at them for agricultural pests, right? Ag is the big 500-pound gorilla in the room. It has to have a fit for agriculture, right? We're looking at it for public health. We're looking at it for a lot of different aspects, right? Besides professional pest management. We'll evaluate those 30 compounds through field testing, right? Which eventually leads to the launching of one product. That whole process, discovery, profiling, evaluating, and launching, typically takes 8 to 12 years. And right now, the current cost is anywhere from $300 to $400 million, right?
It keeps going up.
And in that, there is an incredibly high degree of uncertainty, right? Because 999,999 compounds didn't make it. Right. And a lot of effort was invested into those things. There's an incredible array of employees, right, that are out there, crop protection, field development, testing, right? So we have to be interconnected from our professional pest side to our turf insect side, to our public health side, to our crop protection side. And all of these colleagues have to be interconnected, constantly sharing, constantly performing new tests on these things to get it to market to where it is, right? It's an incredible undertaking that takes a high degree of coordination, is the easiest way to say that, to get through these 8 to 12 years to bring it to market, right? And then, I'll touch on some other aspects once we get past, like, we feel we're ready to bring it to market. What does that mean? That means we've actually coordinated with a regulatory team, right? And we've submitted everything to the Environmental Protection Agency. The EPA has to stamp it, right? They're kind of the ultimate people that manage the label, which is the law, as we both know, right? For use patterns, dilution rates, concentrations, how this product can actually be used and deployed, right? So it's not just, hey, we're launching it because we know it works. We're launching it because we know it works in the safest way possible.
It's important because when we get new products out and we go to buy them and we think, oh my gosh, that's so expensive. Well, now you know why, right? And
well,
and
the
we're
goal,
the little
goal,
like. Go ahead.
The goal is to keep costs down.
Well, obviously, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
But typically, if you're used to buying whatever product, but let's say it's been out for 20 years.
Yeah.
That product seems relatively inexpensive in comparison to buying something that's just been released. You guys have to make your money back at some point, right? Now, the other thing is structural pest control is such a small pittance to, what the ag industry can be. I mean, you're talking about, who knows how many acres of crops that have to, that are out there growing our food, right?
Yeah.
And now, obviously, we're not treating all those acres, but some of them need to be treated. And it's just business. You've got to make your money back. If you don't, you
can't have fungus ruining every row of corn. You can't.
Right.
We're not just feeding America. We're feeding the world.
Best aspect's probably the way the chemicals actually bulk together. I know with the Pest Partners program that kind of incorporated master shippers, which makes ordering easy for us. Anyone that's in the industry that does the ordering knows that it can be monotonous sometimes. But with the master shippers, you're getting more of a bulk buy, plus you're getting the rebate on top of it. Overall, that's been probably the best thing for us.
it allows you to look at your broad spectrum of products and say, well, okay, I can buy all of these, I can try these, and I can save a little money. And the more I buy, the more I save. And you keep up with it for me. I don't have to.
So let's talk a little bit more about some of the biggest challenges when innovating a new pest control material for the professional market.
Yeah, I mean, we already touched on an example, easy one, where treating a agricultural commodity or a field is way different than treating inside someone's home. Like the level of potential exposure and when we're doing professional pest management, like being stewards of public health, right, protecting public health, we go into people's homes. We are around people's homes. We're in areas that they frequent, right? Let me tell you, the middle of a 160-acre pivot of corn or soybeans, there's not much people out there. The frequency of people going out in the middle of that cornfield is very little. So the potential for exposure, right? If you minimize exposure, then you have different use patterns. You have different ways of using something. Getting a product registered, actually for professional pest, for what we do, is actually almost more rigorous, if not even more rigorous, because the EPA, folks like that, state regulatory agencies, they can impose further restriction on how we use our products, or the level, the degree of, let's not say the degree of safety, but the decrease of risk. Right. It's all about risk assessments. It's all about things like that, where does this use pattern or does this product and under condition A, B, or C, is it an allowable use around people? And it's a lot more challenging than I'm not going to say getting a product registered for agriculture isn't challenging, right? But it's a lot more challenging getting one registered for professional pest management.
So it's one thing to get these products registered, but prior to even registration, right, you've got to figure out, all that process that you talked about going through, right? How do these connect with the insects? How do they connect with different proteins and all this stuff? There's a process, I think, and obviously scientifically, where they can say, okay, this product is going to work too quick, or it's going to be too blanket, and we're going to have safety issues, right? I mean, yeah. I don't know. I would think that happens periodically. Not like you need to go into any details, but so let's talk a little bit about how you guys mitigate that, how you lower those risks with these products as you move through this process, because obviously and that's a huge issue.
Yeah. Throughout the entire process, environmental profile is huge. Whether that be, mode of action on target versus non-target, or aquatics, right? Things like that. All of this has to be taken into account, and is even more important now than it's ever been, right? I mean, like point source pollution, point source contamination, especially of waterways and things like that. That's what's getting us in trouble with the tools we have now. And finding better solutions or changing the use patterns is the answer, right? So whether that be, let's use non-targets as an example, finding something that is less toxic to non-target mammals, right, than something broad spectrum, like you said, that's going to be a preferred candidate moving up. This is almost in our profiling stage, where we've whittled down from 5,000 to 30 compounds. That's where all of this, but every single aspect that I just mentioned has to be researched, has to be known. Data has to be submitted on this, right, to put together a giant encyclopedia of knowledge about the one thing. But at that point, you're still whittling down from 5,000 to 30. So we have a set. I don't know. I'm old, Cully. I'm dating myself. But when I grew up, I had a set like the Encyclopedia Britannica, right? Like, and there was one for each letter, right? Think of each of those being one of these 30 compounds we're evaluating. And there's an encyclopedia written about every single one of those 30. with all of the environmental components, all of the how does this impact aquatics, how does this impact birds, how does it impact ding ding ding, all of the toxicology information. The whole package has to be put together and known. And as I said, never before in our industry has it been more important than now.
Well, people they'll be like, well, how do I know it's going to work? I'm like, are you kidding me? They've spent millions of dollars to bring this product to market. Do you really think they put something out and using it according to the label wouldn't work?
Yeah, you would hope not, right?
Right? I mean, how do you make money back on that process, right?
And part of that comes from when you're evaluating, we're still doing a lot of, we at Syngenta, we strive for our research and development trials to replicate field conditions as well as possible. Getting involved with state regulatory agencies and doing what's called an experimental use permit actually allows you to take unregistered products out into the field under a very defined protocol, right? But all of this is important. But the basic the data that drives and puts a pest on the label, that's laboratory data. That's laboratory driven data, right? That the EPA wants done a specific way under specific conditions. Are those always the most realistic of conditions for what you or me or PMPs out in the field might be doing? Not always. But that's why it's important that you have a research and development team that's grounded, that knows our industry, knows what we're doing, knows how to design trials that can generate data that are that way, right? And then having, this is where we bridge the gap from that R&D team to someone like myself who's in technical services, where pre-label stamping, things like that, I can be involved in the EUPs immediately after the label is stamped. We are out there field testing this product like you wouldn't believe.
Can you share a recent example of an innovative product Syngenta has introduced and kind of explain what sets it apart from existing solutions?
Well, I kind of have two examples in there. They're dual phased, right? And really, we've spent a lot of time talking about the pipeline right now. We never stop innovating, right? We take things that we already have, and that's partially my job also, is to, if I see a customer need or something that isn't being met in the market, we take products that we have now and we can combine things, we can package them differently, right, to fill a need. I really wanted to focus on something like Advion Trio, our newest cockroach gel here, as an innovation. Right, we had the Advion cockroach gel bait line. We had changes in the food matrices, right? Updating that, changing the complexity of that to combat food aversion in cockroaches. Then we've added a chitin synthesis inhibitor and a juvenile hormone analog, right? Basically filling a niche and providing customers with something that will continue performing longer than what they're used to, longer than what the competitive products will be. I can't give you the exact dates. I'm still doing trials on that product right there to determine, but we know that those IGRs stick around longer than the nerve inhibitor does in that bait matrix. But there was a need, there was a niche, especially with adding a chitin synthesis inhibitor to a cockroach bait. Syngenta saw that. Bam, we got it into the Advion Trio product. And what's happening right now is excellent results coming in from PMPs all over the country who have incorporated in their protocols. That's a chemical innovation from something that didn't have to come out of that pipeline, right? Then we had a packaging innovation recently with Demand CS, something that's been around since I was in middle school, right? But now we have a 10-gallon drum. Like a lot of pest control companies have moved to 30-gallon drums that require a hydraulic pump, right, with a lot of maintenance on that pump and associated with it. But we have a 10-gallon drum, and we actually took the drum and the concept of it. You don't need any pump or anything. You basically need a home drill, a battery-powered drill. It comes with a built-in impeller, and you can mix it and then basically turn the drum over, and it's like your laundry detergent jug from Costco, right? But that packaging was already being used in our agricultural side in crop protection to package fungicides and package herbicides. It was just sitting over there in a completely other market away from us. And, just basically saying, are you guys ever going to use me? I would be great. right? And finally somebody heard that little 10-gallon drum yelling from some closet in Greensboro, and they were like, actually, this is an ingenious way to package this product, and we haven't changed demand. Demand hasn't changed. You should expect the same results you're used to getting from that product. It's just a different way of packaging it with service containers that are labeled that you can fill. You don't have to ship the big old drum away or have them take up space. You can triple rinse them and recycle it just like any other bottle or this or that. But I mean, those are two just recent innovations that didn't need to come from this $800 million pipeline, right? And this $400 million to get to one AI. We're doing that. Right, we're doing that over here, but we're never stopping looking at how else we can create things from what already exists in our portfolio as well.
Let's go back to the this process we were talking about, and let's talk about as you're doing your field trials, you're coming up with feedback yourselves as well as from your customers. Talk to people about how that plays into the ultimate end use product.
When I'm meeting with PMPs or talking to them at conferences, I'm constantly, whether they know it or not, trying to figure out if there's something they need. Because oftentimes you ask somebody what they need on the spot, they're not going to tell you. But you talk to them for 5 minutes, and then you're talking about service or this or that. Then they'll say something, and they don't even know they've told you what they need or what might be better for them or what's working and what's not. Feedback, surveys, things like that are constantly taken into account to help drive. Like I said, not always drive this $800 million machine, but what else can we be doing? Right? We're in this to support customers. That's what our number one goal is, right? Is supporting customers, and that would be PMPs supporting their customers or protecting public health. Right? That's our message. Anything that we do on the day in or the day out, all the way up that research and development line, though, is driven towards that, right? A sustainable, environmentally acceptable solution to a problem, right? And leading us down that innovation pipeline, right? Things like resistance management, things like reduce risk. That's the future. Right? That's where, especially for professional pests, that's where our stuff is focused, right? Managing that, and the vision is there all the way down this R&D pipeline.
Right. Yeah. No, I think you guys are leaders in that. You've got some really good products that are moving and in that realm completely. So looking to the future, are there any exciting innovations or trends that you see for the industry? You just named one, right? Reduce risk, products and methods. Anything else?
No, I mean, at Syngenta right now, we're incredibly excited about, we're going to have the first new mode of action, the first new IRAC number that's coming to professional pest management, I believe, since the diamides, which was a product called Altracet, originally from DuPont, and then with Syngenta. But it's been 14 years, right, since that product came out. Before that, it was Indoxacarb. Before that, it was Fipronil, right? And now you're going back 25 years, right? That we're going to have a brand new mode of action coming to the professional pest management market. The thing that's unique about this is, for the first time in my life, like my knowing about this industry and the manufacturing side, is this is the first time a brand new AI is coming in the ag side at the exact same time it's coming in the lawn and ornamental side, at the exact same time it's coming in the professional pest management side. That's very exciting stuff right there. And to your point, I think you said this at the beginning, Cully, is when you're buying Advion, when you're buying Demand, when you're doing something, you're supporting a basic manufacturer, you're supporting that innovation engine, right? That's where this train keeps rolling down the tracks, right? Is having partners, having PMPs that believe in the work that we've done to bring it to market, believe in the research that's been done, post label stamping and all the track record and the what's the word I'm looking for here, the reputation of Syngenta and our products, right? And keep buying them. That's what fuels the research and development engine. That's what's fueled us bringing this new technology to market. So I want to thank everybody that's out there watching this and using Syngenta products.
We thank Syngenta for walking us through this product. I think, or this process. I think this is a extremely it's important, I think, especially as the longer we're in the business, to know this kind of stuff. And thanks for the little tidbit that we got a new AI coming that we can look forward to. So as always, everybody, pest control is an adventure. So get out there and enjoy the adventure with the Pest Posse.